Hi, my name is Greg Burkhart, Director of Safety and Training here at the Associated General Contractors in Northwest Ohio. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about ladders. So what we're going to talk about is basic types of ladders. We're going to touch on stairways, what we need to do around stairways as we're constructing them to make sure that we're using them safely so that nobody falls down them or even falls up them. We're going to talk stairways, stairs and ladders, the hazards around stairs and ladders, methods to prevent stairway and ladder hazards, and also employer requirements to make sure that stairs and ladders are used properly. Falls are the leading cause of fatalities in construction. Falls make up roughly 30%, 35% of the fatalities in construction. And these are all falls from heights, whether it's 10, 20, 30 feet, and it's even falls from standing where you're at. Standing at the ground level, people falling, tripping over things. We have actually documented cases where people have fallen and impaled themselves on something, or even fallen and just hit their head and caused a brain injury to the point where they have passed away from that. Falls from ladders make up about 1/3 of these fatalities, and like I said, it can be from any height, and it doesn't have to be the 50, 60 foot height. Falls from ladders that make up the fatalities are generally in the shorter range, 6 to 10, 20 feet. 25,000 injuries per year due to falls from ladders and stairways, and absolutely 100% falls are preventable. So as you can see on the chart in front of you there, 6 to 10 foot is the worst height when it comes to fatalities and injuries from ladders and stairways. Are we complacent? Do we think that height we're safe? As you can see from the table below, that's not the case. That's not the case. So even at the 6 to 10 foot height, we need to be aware of what we're doing. We need to follow what manufacturers say, and we even have to maintain our common sense when it comes to using ladders at that height. There are basic types of ladders. We have our job-built ladders. We have our portable ladders. We also have stationary fixed ladders too. We're not going to talk so much about stationary or fixed ladders today. It's going to be mostly ladders such as step ladders, our little giant ladders, our extension ladders, different types of step ladders, and what can be used on a job site. Basic stairways, we're going to talk a little bit about stairways, we're going to talk about handrails, we're going to talk about the height of stairways, we're going to talk about stair rails and handrails. These are the things that make up our stairway system, and we have to understand what is required to make sure that we make these and maintain these in a safe, manageable way so that nobody falls and nobody gets hurt. Some hazards associated with stairs and ladders, just simply slips, trips, and falls. Are we keeping areas at the top and the bottom of stairs and ladders clear of debris? Are we keeping them free from slippery things like oils and things like that? Unfortunately, when we're using ladders and stairs, maybe we are carrying something and we can't see very well. And we have to either one of two things, stop carrying things, or we have to, like I said, make sure that those areas are clear of debris so that we don't trip and fall up or down those ladders or stairways. Some of the hazards, electrical hazards, falling objects, protruding objects, sharp edges, or rough spots. We must, at all times, maintain at least a 10-foot clearance from electrical hazards. Electrical wires, as in this picture, coming into buildings, they have a weather protection on them. They most likely, the electrical company won't call it insulation because that insinuates that it insulates you from a hazard. They're not willing to accept that responsibility simply because they don't know how long those wires have been on that building. Are they cracked? The covering on those wires, are they cracked? Any crack in a wire like that exposes you to electrical hazards. So at no time should you be anywhere near or closer than 10 feet away from any type of electrical hazard, especially wires like what you see up there on the screen coming into a building. We're going to talk about safe practices, ladder requirements, and structural defects. And how do we find all this stuff? Our safe practices, just what we do on a daily basis, ladder requirements, and structural defects. Inspections. Are we going to inspect these ladders on a regular basis? The OSHA standard says yes, we must inspect them by a competent person. Extension ladders. When we use an extension ladder to gain access to a level above us or even below us, we must make sure that those side rails extend at least 3 feet above the landing surface. And why do we do that? So that we can easily get on and off the ladder safely. Instead of bending down to try and grab something that's only a foot above our landing surface, it's 3 feet above, we can just swing our legs around, climb up, climb down, do what we need to do, but we have to make sure that those side rails extend at least 3 feet above the landing surface. Don't exceed the loaded capacity of the ladder. All ladders are rated. The ladders that should be used on job sites are 1A or 1AA. So there are stickers on the ladders. Read the stickers and make sure that the ladder will adequately handle the load that is intended to be put on there. We use the ladders only as they are designed. So we climb up and down extension ladders. We put them vertical. If we lay them flat and use them as a scaffold, that is not how they are intended to be used. They will break. They were not tested for that. The manufacturer will not stand behind there. Angle of the ladder, so the horizontal distance of the bottom is 1/4 the working length of the ladder. So when we set the ladder up, and that ladder touches the wall above us at 20 feet, we want to make sure that the foot of the ladder is 5 feet away from the wall. It's a 4-to-1 climbing angle. It is a perfect angle to climb. Anything less than that, say a 3-to-1 angle, the ladder becomes too vertical and it's more difficult to climb. Could fall backwards. Anything more than that, say at a 6-to-1, and we're putting too much pressure on the ladder itself to be able to hold us. So make sure that we check the capacity of the ladder, 1AA, 1A, 1AA, or 1, Make sure we check the capacity of the ladder. It's going to be a 1, a 1A, or a 1AA ladder that we should be using on a job site. Fixed ladders, no more than a 90-degree angle. These are ladders that are attached to buildings, permanently attached to buildings. If we're going to use those on a regular basis, say on a remodel, or we're using that as access to the roof, we need to inspect that. We don't know how long those ladders have been on that building. That actually should be the responsibility of the building owner, and that ladder should be no more than 90 degrees from horizontal. So it's a vertical, straight vertical climb. Ladders, portable ladders and step ladders that we use on job sites, we want to make sure that the area around the bottom and even at the top of the extension ladder is free from debris. We want to make sure it is stable, level, and make sure it is not slippery. Muddy areas, we need to accommodate for that, whether we're on a step ladder or an extension ladder. And we need to make sure that all of these ladders are secured from movement. And we can do that by tying the top of it off. Remember, we're extended 3 feet above our level, our landing level. And if we need to, we can certainly tie that top off to make sure that it does not slide. We want to prevent movement and displacement. We want to secure it. If we're working behind a door, we want to make sure the door is locked. We want to make sure that we are safe when we are up on a ladder. Remember, 6 to 10 foot That's most of our fatalities when it comes to ladder falls. Keep clear the areas around the top and bottom. Like I said, it's hard for us to see when we're going down a ladder or even going up a ladder to get to the top of the working surface. When we get to the top, we can't have debris around there. We need a clear landing area. And when we're coming down, we're supposed to be looking forward, not looking down at our feet. So we can't even see what's below us. That should be all clear from debris also. Maintain 3 points of contact when we climb a ladder. That means 2 hands at all times and 1 foot, or 2 feet and 1 hand. We never, ever, ever carry things with us going up and down a ladder. We face the ladder at all times, whether we're working on it or we're working off of it, or whether we're ascending or descending. We want to make sure that our belt buckle stays between the side rails of the ladder. That allows the ladder to maintain its most stable position, and that way we won't slide from left to right and fall off the ladder. Getting on and off the ladder is you have to be especially careful. Like I said, 3 feet above, and also make sure that there is not debris on at the bottom when you try and get on or off the ladder. Don't move, shift, or extend while in use. Your extension ladder, some people will stand there and push them up as they go. That is not how you use an extension ladder. Like I said, you get closer to 10 feet from electrical wires, you need to think about what you're doing. You can't be any closer than 10 feet from electrical wires. That is in the Osha standard. The electricity can jump. It can arc and kill you. We just need to be very, very aware of that. Don't use the top step of a step ladder. It says it right on the step ladder. Don't use the top step, or don't even use the second from the top step from the step ladder. Both of those should not be used, not even as a seat at the top. That will get you not only an OSHA citation, but it is also, you lose your balance, and that can hurt you, that can even kill you. Don't climb the cross bracing on the rear section of a step ladder. Now, there are step ladders that are made to be climbed on either side. That's okay to use, but you have to read the instructions on the step ladder to make sure that whatever it says, you are complying with the use of that step ladder. Single rail ladders cannot be used on construction job sites. And those are just rails, those 2x4s, 4x4s that have a step nailed onto them. It's just a 1 4x4, and that used to be used apparently way back in the day. Those cannot be used anymore. Inspections for ladders must be done by a competent person. They must be done periodically. I'm saying do them every day prior to each and every use. You use the ladder, you think you know, you used it, you put it back down, you started the next day, it should be inspected. Who used that in the meantime? What happened? Did it get run over by a truck? Did it get run over by a tractor? It needs to be inspected every day prior to each and every use. It should be inspected after any incident, and that could affect their safe use of the ladder. Ladder requirements, when you have 25 or more people, you must have 2 ladders or a ladder with up and down. The ladder that is shown there on the picture is actually a job-built ladder. It is a 2-way ladder, one side up, one side down, because apparently there are more than 25 people that are working up on that platform. You don't have to do this. You can have 2 ladders it could be 2 ladders in 2 separate areas. But you need 2 ladders when there's more than 25 employees working in an area like that. Inspecting ladders, look at the rungs, the cleats, and the steps. Make sure they're parallel, level, uniformly spaced. Obviously, a built ladder that you purchase, a Werner, Louisville, Kentucky ladder, or whatever the case may be, 10 to 14 inches apart. The side rails, the steps, 8 to 12 inches apart. These are not things that we measure on a regular basis because they are manufactured ladders. But if OSHA happened to come across a job-built ladder, these are the specifications. This is what they're going to measure to make sure that it meets the requirements of the OSHA standard when it comes to job-built ladders. Tying ladders together to create longer sections. This is something that we see pictures about this all the time. I'm hoping that in union construction in Northwest Ohio, we never, ever, ever see that tying of two ladders together. If it is a ladder, an extension ladder that is made to be together, that's one thing. But to tie two ladders together, that is absolutely unacceptable. Somebody's going to get hurt, somebody's going to get killed. Step ladder must have a metal spreader or locking device to keep the legs apart. If that is broken, is not there, then that is a cause to take the ladder out of service. During our inspections, we will remove the ladder from service. We will take it, we will tag it. My recommendation, if it is blatantly broken and can never be used again, it should be cut. It should not be cut in half, it should be cut down the rungs so you have two separate rails with metal sticking out. Otherwise, somebody's going to take that ladder and put it in their truck. They're going to take it home or they're going to take it to a different job site. Under no condition, under no circumstance, should a ladder ever be reused if it is cut top or bottom. I've seen contractors that have taken extension ladders and cut them down shorter because the bottom has been cracked or the top has been cracked, and they actually use them in trenches. A ladder is a ladder. It doesn't matter where you use the ladder. If it's in a trench, if it's on a job site, it has to meet the same specifications in the OSHA standard for ladders. Hand and stair rails, there are situations, 4 or more risers, or 30 inches of rise where we need to install a handrail on stairways, or we need to on stair rail systems, unprotected sides and edges with the rise of 6 feet or more, we need to install stair rail systems. This is all in the OSHA standard. What does this do? This simply protects us from the fall. It protects us from the fall. A handrail system is attached to the wall. A stair rail system is to the open side of the stairway. So the stair rail could be on both sides, or you could have a handrail on both sides. You'd have wall to wall, or open to open, doesn't matter, but we must have either a handrail or a stair rail system on there. We have to build our stair rail systems, build our stairs to certain OSHA standards, uniform riser height and tread depth. Uniform riser height, just like being at home, it's amazing when you use steps and you go, or stairs, you go up and down stairs. If the stairs, the riser height differs by 1/4 inch, 3/8 of an inch, how that can make us miss a step or two. So it all has to be the same. The tread depth has to be the same. 30 to 50 degree angle on the stairs so as to not to make them so shallow or even so steep. We must create a landing at every 12 feet. Any projection on the stair rail or handrail system must be eliminated so that we do not catch our clothing or tool bag or anything on that projection. Nail head or even a piece of wood or whatever. If we catch our tool bag or our hand on there, it can hurt us, it can grab us, it can stop us, it can send us backwards, make us fall. And we want to make sure that all of our stairs and all that are good wood, good metal, that is not slippery. If it does become slippery, we want to make sure that we can eliminate the slippery, wipe it up, make it safe to be able to climb. And take a look at that picture on the upper right. The stair rail system, the stairs going into the back of the trailer. That is wrong. That stair rail system, there must be a platform that is at least 20 inches wider than the swing of the door. And the reason for that is OSHA does not want you to go up there, unlock the door, and have to take 2 steps backwards to open the door. They want you up there, standing on a platform, to be able to open the door, swing the door open, and stay on the platform where you're standing. By stepping backwards a couple steps, it creates a trip hazard, and you can fall, hurt yourself, or even be killed. So keep that in mind on all stair rail systems going up to trailers with swinging doors. If that had an overhead door, it would be fine. You wouldn't need the platform. But that needs a platform 20 inches wider than what those doors swing. Temporary pan stairs. This is one of the first things that's installed in a building is our stairway system. But what we don't do right away is we don't fill those pans with the concrete. That gets done later on the job site. We cannot use these stairs. It is an OSHA violation to use these stairs until that pan system is filled in. Now we can fill that in with a substance such as wood or even pink or blue board. I've seen pink or blue board in those, and OSHA has used those stairs and not said anything about that. But we cannot use stairs that there is nothing in those pans. Those pans actually have an 1.5 inch lip on the front and the back to be able to hold concrete. And going up and down those stairs without the pans being filled it's a trip hazard. There's a 1.5 inch lip on the front of each of those stairs that creates a trip hazard. So we must fill those with a substantial material, whether it's wood, pink board, or blue board insulation, to make sure that those trip hazards are not there. One of the things that we have to do as employers, we have to comply with OSHA standards related to stairs and ladders. We must train employees when it comes to ladders and stairs. We must do proper inspections on our ladders. And like I said, a competent person must inspect ladders on a regular basis. My recommendation simply is to inspect ladders on a daily basis. And we all must comply with manufacturer's requirements and recommendations for all ladders. On our ladders, whether it is a step ladder or an extension ladder, there will be stickers on these ladders telling you exactly what you can and cannot do with these ladders. Those stickers must be legible. If they are not legible, you can contact the manufacturer of that ladder and they will send you stickers. And they're not that expensive, maybe $6 a sticker or something like that, I'm not sure. But those ladders must be, those stickers on those ladders must be legible. And we must be able to follow the instructions. We have to follow those instructions on those ladders. Hazard recognition, ladders. Picture on the left, picture on the right. What do we see on the left? What we're doing wrong. The picture on the left shows an individual using a step ladder as a straight ladder. That will get you a citation, an OSHA citation. Some of the manufacturers, the ladder manufacturers, have actually come out with a step ladder that you can lean against the wall like that. Be careful. Make sure that your company allows those to be used on the job site. But as long as they are manufactured that way, it'll be interesting to see what OSHA says about that. So that's the picture on the left. So the picture on the right does not extend above the landing area by 3 feet. There's also that's the big ladder. And there's also a ladder on the right of that going up against another wall. And that is at the wrong climbing angle. Remember the 4 to 1. For every 4 feet up, we want to be 1 foot away from the wall. And that is not 4 to 1. That's like 6 to 1. So we want to make sure that our climbing angle is 4 foot high for 1 foot out. If our ladder makes contact on the roof, on the working area above us at 16 feet. We want to be 4 feet away from that wall. That's our 4-to-1 climbing angle. The picture on the left shows buckets and a thermos on a stairway. We do not want that. We do not want that. All stairways must be kept clear of debris or anything like this. It creates a tripping hazard on the way down. The stairway on the right, there are no stair rails on it. Remember, anything greater than 6 feet, we must have stair rails on it. So, key components for ladder safety. A competent person must inspect my ladders on a regular basis, and I say on a daily basis. Use the correct ladder for the job, extension ladder, step ladder. Make sure it's a step ladder. We don't use it as an extension ladder. We don't use it as a straight ladder. Use the correct angle, supports, treads, cross braces, and rails. Inspect all those prior to each use. Do not overload our ladder. And the employer must train you in proper use of a ladder. Components of stairway safety are treads. Make sure our treads are uniform. Our risers are uniform. Our handrails, stair rails, and guardrails are intact. They're installed properly. And our landings and platforms are installed at every 12 feet. Our pans are filled with a substantial material such as wood, blue board, pink board, or concrete before we use them. If they're not filled with a substantial material, do not use those stairways. Okay, a couple of quick questions. When portable ladders are used for access to an upper landing surface, how many feet above the upper landing must the side rails extend? Correct. 3 feet. You can use metal ladders around power lines or exposed energized electrical equipment. A, true, but only if there isn't any other option to get the work done. Or B, false. You should never use a metal ladder in this circumstance. The answer is false, but I want to comment on A, but only if there isn't any other option to get the work done. That will never be an answer to an OSHA question. Any other option to get the work done. That's not an answer. There's always a better way. Handrails must be able to withstand without failure how many pounds of weight applied within 2 inches of the top edge in any downward and outward direction. We didn't cover that. The answer is C, 200 pounds in an outward and downward direction. The mid-rail must be able to withstand 150 pounds in an outward and downward direction. Stairways that have 4 or more risers must have a stair rail system, and the answer is true. A non-self-supporting ladder should be set at what angle? Horizontal distance, working length of ladder distance. How about a 1 to 4 angle? The answer is D. Thank you for participating in this stairway and ladder presentation. There will be a short video afterwards, followed by some questions throughout the video.